Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tony. It's great to be here with you.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get this kicked off. So let's start off with a one word open. What's the one word you can use right now to describe how you're feeling in this moment?
Super motivated, excited about what's ahead of us.
Very cool. Very cool. With that said, if you could take the next few minutes, Daniel, tell us about your business, what it's all about, and how you got started in your business.
Sure. So just a quick background. So I originate from South Africa, grew up there, and moved to Israel at the age of 18. And I very quickly got into the renewable energy industry and developed renewable energy projects when it was just getting started. The industry was, right at the beginning, 17 years ago. So it was kind of a little ahead of its time. But fortunately, I built a business that developed projects in South Africa and here in Israel and later on in the States. And I felt the pain of developing renewable energy projects. It's a very complicated process, very expensive and difficult process. Anyone who's done it will smile. It's a common problem. So when I identified this problem, I built my business to the level where I could sell it, and it was time for me to move on. So I sold that business about 4 years ago and decided to focus on this problem, and realizing that data science and automation would solve the problem with the whole wave of machine learning and automation. So, put together a team of experts in that domain. And what we do is we enable renewable energy project developers to very quickly and low cost develop those projects with a lot of complexity. So we're not talking about the simple solar projects. We're talking about large scale microgrid systems, which have to operate 24/7, 365. They have to understand multiple production systems and consumers, very complicated systems. And recently we've pivoted to electric vehicle charging. So we can talk a little bit more about that, but that's in a nutshell what we do.
Awesome. Can't wait to dive into that more a little bit here in a second. So with that said, let's talk about the pandemic. How did you, when you ran across some challenges due to the pandemic with your growth and just business overall, tell us how you pivoted out of that.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's been definitely a tough 2.5 years. We're moving into it. We were kind of ramping up our initial client base, and things were looking exciting. We were working with a shopping mall operator, the largest ones here in Israel, and they have a portfolio in Europe and US. And obviously shopping malls shut down. So we were really in trouble. We had to review. We went back to the investment community, and fortunately, my relationships produced a contract in the residential space where we were able to fund the business and develop a solution specifically for the needs of a particular community down south in Israel. So it was really about focusing on the customer and saying, I think technology is all nice, but at the end of the day, do you have a customer who's needs your product, who needs what you're offering? And I just relentlessly reached out to my network and was fortunate enough to find those customers who have a problem that we can solve. And I think that's what got us through at the end of the day. I mean, I can tell you, ups and downs and all the issues about how we're able to fundraise and all of that. But bottom line is, my North Star is, are you focused religiously on customer problems? And they have to be big, painful problems. They have to be deep, big, painful problems. And I think bottom line, that's what got us through COVID. And fortunately, that's what's getting us to, the future success, where we're out now closing a round of funding, and we've got a really exciting pipeline of projects, and a huge waiting list of opportunities. So, that's kind of it.
That's really awesome. Tell us about a recent win that you put on the board for in Q1. What's something that you're really proud of that you want to share with me, that you say, hey, this is a really cool thing that we did in our company in Q1. What was that? What did it look like? And what was the result?
Well, we got accepted the end of last year to a program called Drive TLV, which is in the automotive industry, and they've kind of pulled us into electric vehicle charging infrastructure because they have capacity problems supporting the EV charging, um, and they brought us in front of companies like Volvo and Honda, their partners, and we're now working with them with these companies, and we've also just recently received a significant fundraise. So yeah, that's exciting. We've got customers, we've got funding to develop the business further. And yeah, it's super exciting. We have to build the team, a lot of growth ahead of us.
Awesome. Tell me your point of view on thought, thought leadership. So, who do you think that's, what makes someone a great thought leader in your opinion?
Well, I think someone who firstly thinks deeply about some particular problem, or in that specific domain. So are they deep thinkers? Are they learning? Are they learning? Are they listening? Not just generally listening. I'm talking about deep listening. And then are they able to articulate a point of view that is slightly different to perhaps what is the norm? So they need to come with an alternative or a different view, which hasn't been necessarily heard before. And it needs to be a sort of more of an educational type of approach, not a sales approach or a commercial approach. They really need to be educators at the core. And yeah, that's my view on thought leadership.
That's really great. What about company culture? Can you expand on that as well from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good one, especially as a small company. You kind of, you got to get it right because, culture is at the core. People, you will not be able to attract customers and employees without that, getting it right. So I think there again, the mission needs to be really unique. It needs to be true to who you are as a person, and you need to focus on that culture. And if someone, it just needs to be a human culture. I don't think there's anything different between the culture you have in your home versus the culture you have in your business. Who are you and how do you operate as a person? What culture would you be comfortable with at home? What kind of behavior you would appreciate and encourage at home with your children and with your friends and family? And I think that needs to be then reflected in the company, and hopefully it's unique enough and compelling enough, because that's what's gonna draw people to you.
Yeah,
Customers, investors, employees.
great. Let's shift back over to your company. So what challenges would I be facing and that would make sense for me to reach out to you? Like what problems am I having that would make sense for me to check you out and find out more information?
So we are focused on fleet managers who now have a tremendous challenge to switch from internal combustion engines based on fossil fuel, and they're being pushed by investors and regulators and customers to move to electric vehicles, essentially, which is carbon free and also is going to present a tremendous amount of economic benefits. So they don't know anything about how that's going to happen, and they don't have the capacity to deal with all of these issues. What we do is we provide a simple, easy to understand data platform that really simplifies the analytics problem of understanding what the demand is going to be for your fleet, where's the supply of your clean electrons are going to come from, and how you're going to provide that capacity when you need it at the time that you need. The prices also, you have to be economically viable. So if you're a corporate and you want to switch your fleet to clean electric vehicles, that's you should be talking to BrightMerge.
Perfect. And give us your website address and social handles in case we have this challenge or someone listening who has this challenge, they'll know how to find you.
Sure. So it's www.brightmerge.com. BRIGHTMERGE.com.
Perfect. Here we are at the end. Can you sign us off with a one-word close, Daniel, and tell us, why you're choosing to sign off with this one word?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go for optimism. I think that in the troubling times that we have, the war that still rages on between Russia and Ukraine and the high inflation and all that, I think, we really need to remember that there's a lot to be thankful for. And so optimism would be my word.
I appreciate the talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Tony.